you ready for this?
Gonna be fun.
You will not stand in my way.
Frostborn. Hunger. This pleases me.
I do not fear you, mortal.
Your soul shall be mine.
Don't make me laugh.
Needs a brew? Oh, I do. Feel a shredding, baby. Let the battle begin.
How much time we got?
All right, so welcome to the 18th episode of Trollin HGC. We got zero time, Bahgz. Zero time. We're going live, boys. A Heroes of the Storm podcast focused on esports, a member of the Trolls.gg podcast network. I'm your host, LiQuiuD, and I'm joined today, as usual, by Bahgz. But you may notice we have a pair of other people, special guests, if you will, joining us. And we're going to start with Lauber. Lauber is the tank and captain of a brand new HGC team, Leftovers. How's it going, Lauber?
It's going good. Got my coffee and feeling good.
Yeah, it's the middle of the night for you, man, but we appreciate you being here and hanging out with us. And not to forget our friends in NA, but we also have Ishbu, the tank of the newest HGC NA team to make it. Heroes Hearth Esports. How's it going, dude?
It's been going great. How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm like super excited to have you guys here, and I want to jump right in. But before I do that, I have to thank our Patreons. Our show will always be free, but one of the many ways our viewers and listeners can support us is on patreon.com/trollsgg. We share the Patreon with the Nexus Trolls and use any money we earn from Patreon for giveaways or other methods to improve the show. This year, we took all the money we got from Patreon and we funneled that all in to buy some swag to give away to people at Blizzcon. So definitely find us at Blizzcon. I will be at the HGC stage if you happen to be there. Stop by, get your swag. And our troll of the week this week is Schizophrenic. It's so funny, Schizophrenic's in our chat all the time, chatting with us all, but for some reason, he's not here tonight. So he's the troll of the week, and he's not even here this week.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad, man. I was hoping that maybe he missed the Nexus Trolls and would be here for Trollin HGC, but no. So, but that's cool. He gets props for that.
You heard I was gonna be on, so he's like, oh.
And he's like, I can't do it.
I don't want to listen.
Oh, that reminds me. I gotta add a question to ask you. Actually, Lauber. So, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna ask it now. So Shrimpy said something on Twitter right after you guys won, and yeah. I'm gonna try and guess and hope I get it right, and I might get it wrong, but it was something about you make the best hamburgers in town.
Yeah, so it was a big loss for the town.
Yes, like what? You gotta tell me about like what. So is there a story behind that, or is it just like one of those things?
Well, me and Swimpy, we went to the same school.
Okay.
We're actually the same age. So we know each other. He was the one that got me into HOTS. And I used to work as a Swedish hamburger place called Max.
Okay.
Swedish best hamburgers was their slogan. So I worked there for like a year. And sometimes he come and buy hamburgers off me.
Oh man,
awesome.
That is wild.
That's crazy. Oh, that tweet makes so much more sense now. Okay. I saw that and I'm like, wait, like, is this for real or is this just like one of those things? You know?
It's real.
That's awesome. All right, so we do have a little bit of news that we're gonna cover before we jump into like really talking about all the various things, but I had to get that one off my chest. I don't know if you guys have been following this or not. Obviously you guys have had a really busy week leading into going into the Crucible and then now celebrating because you guys won the Crucible. But CE, who qualified for Blizzcon, has only been able to get 1 out of 5 visas. And so it looks like they're not going to be able to even make it as a team, which is a huge bummer because I've been saying that, you know, this is the year for Chinese teams to actually get out of the group stage and do some damage. How do you guys like... I don't know. Lauber, how is it difficult to get visas? Is this a Chinese issue and not really as hard for like other European countries?
I mean, haven't China have a problem with visas for like
every
whole esports
year
scene? Yeah.
Yes. Well, it seems not to be so bad with like League.
Maybe because yeah, go ahead.
I think it depends where and how far in advance they announce like locations and stuff. Because I remember like way back with League, they had some issues with several like Russian players even having this issue of visas, and it was just a matter of like they didn't announce it in time, so they couldn't get the paperwork going fast enough. So I don't know if that's the issue here or if there's another one. Obviously, China is a different beast, and obviously I haven't had to deal with visa issues myself, so I have no idea what could be really going on with this.
Soon though, soon hopefully, right? Soon hopefully you guys are going to mid-season brawl.
Yeah, that is our goal.
Also, SPT is going to be missing one of their players, and instead of using their manager this year, it looks like they're going to use SA from RPG. But then I got something for you, Ishbu. So your coach wrote a spectacular blog post today. I read that and I was like, damn, like this guy really like. I was caught up in the Falstad stuff and the changes right before. So they dropped a patch. There were all sorts of problems, and it was going into the playoffs. And like, what happened?
Okay, so basically we were all like super pissed because we've been practicing Falstad and Diablo a bunch, and then they released a patch where Falstad's banned and Diablo's heavily nerfed.
Oh yeah.
In addition to like so many other bugs, and we were just like, this is straight up bullshit. Like, just pardon my French there, but like they. I'm sorry. Anyways, but like we were really confused. We were saying basically, okay, not only did you kind of have this springless patch on us, but the patch is super, super, super buggy. You're not talking about just one character, Falstad, being disabled. Alarak was unplayable on it. Rhaegar was almost more of a risk to himself, like just because of all the lunge bugs. Diablo was severely weakened. The objectives weren't scaling correctly. Like there was just so many things wrong with the patch that it didn't feel like something. If it was just like one hero had an issue or something like that, it felt like something we could have responded to. But it was just so many different things that we just got really ticked, and we all just started basically lobbying to everyone we knew. Coach took this much farther than all of us, including, as he said, he actually did tweet at the Blizzard CEO. Because in his words, if you can't get through at this level, you have to go above a level.
Right.
Let me interject real quick here. I just want to point this out. Did anyone else catch Ishbu just said? He said, Coach said.
Yes.
Did you catch that? Did
yes.
You catch that, LiQuiud?
I refer to him as Coach.
Which is awesome.
I respect the hell out of that, man. That means a lot to me. That's the direction we need to be heading in, man. All right. Go ahead. Carry on.
So yeah, that was his little thing. As far as like, I don't know, that was just that whole patch, and it was a big ol' just issue. But Blizzard did resolve it in what I think was the correct manner, and we got to play on a patch that everyone was practiced on, rather than one where just certain strategies were getting thrown out the window. As far as like the rest of what Coach wrote, it's pretty accurate. Like when he first came on, we mostly liked him because all of the other people kind of applying for coach positions were more like basically a sixth player, like just kind of like a bro there, like a friendly figure who's just kind of throwing advice here and there and throwing some tidbits after the games and stuff like that. Meanwhile, he was the only one to like actually take the lead in sort of things, say, do the draft for us, and to say like, this is what I want you concentrating on this game. And it just kind of went from there. Like he obviously was not too, intimate with the competitive meta at the time, so he had a lot to learn. But he definitely did he definitely did make that effort to learn it. I still think the funniest disconnect we have with him right now is he's a very like by the numbers guy. He looks at statistics and say this character's statistically the highest win rate on this map, therefore we should try to emphasize this hero. And then all of us just look and we're like, yeah, we're not playing that hero. Or like there was some where like, yeah, let's play Abathur on Towers of Doom, and he's like, yeah, but Abathur has like a negative win rate on this. I'm like, let's play Abathur on Towers of Doom. Just stuff like that, where we have some interesting things, because all the players are very much, this feels good, or I've seen this be good, so this must be good. And he's very much a by the numbers kind of guy. But I don't know, like he does all our drafting. He helps guide practices. And for the most part, he just prevents us, like, since he's kind of an upper level, he just kind of stops us all from, like, wanting to strangle each other sometimes when things go wrong. So,
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, I'm done.
I was just saying, that's kind of, we've talked a lot about a coach and needing that person that's like, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to work on, and this is why. And it's not a player that's doing it, it's somebody that is like a neutral sixth party, if you will, because you have 5 players, right? And that's one of the things that really feels like it's missing from time to time in Heroes, is that neutral player that's just gonna say, this is what you guys need to work on and this is why.
Yeah,
I mean-
there's a reason why a lot of HGC teams has picked up a coach now to start this season or start of last phase or something.
Right.
Like a lot more teams have picked up a coach because it's so beneficial.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Cool. It was a good post. We linked to it in the show notes. So if you're listening to this on the podcast, check out the show notes and go ahead and read the article. The article is amazing.
Go ahead and read that. I proofread it for him.
Did you? It was a great article, man. I'm not gonna lie. It was great.
It was pretty lengthy, but it was really insightful. Like going into it, I had no idea he did the drafting for you guys, and then like coming away from the article, it just made sense. Like it takes that, it's just less on your guys' plate, and it makes a lot of sense.
All right, so we're gonna jump into some results real quick, but before we do that, Bahgz wanted to go over something with everybody out there. So, are you ready, buddy?
1 second. All right, I am ready. Once I hear, am I gonna be able to hear the music?
I thought so, but apparently not. But it's good, so go.
It's playing. All right, great. All right. So this past weekend, 4 very talented teams lost their opportunity to play in HGC 2018. Well, tonight on Trollin HGC, we wanted to make sure those players got their due. The nature of competition is such that there will always be winners and losers. But losing your job, your source of income, is tough. Investing 6 months or even a year of your life into trying to land a job and then failing is incredibly difficult. I want all our viewers, all our listeners, no. I want the entire troll army to go out there and reach out to these guys, be it on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, I don't care. Wherever you can find them, send them words of encouragement. Tell these players how much you enjoy watching them play our favorite game at its highest possible level. It's important. We don't want to lose them. And for me personally, I'm going to tell you guys, if you're listening to this show right now or if you're watching live, keep your chin up. Every single team that played this weekend played exceptionally well. Without a doubt in my mind, all of you are HGC caliber players. Whether it was bad luck, poor play on the wrong day, or otherwise, you ended up facing defeat at the end of the Crucible. But learn from it. Take this opportunity to reflect on the good and the bad from these past 6 months. You've all accomplished so much, and it's easy to forget that. The sting of defeat's gonna linger for a while. But as with all things, time has a way of making that pain go away. So be patient. The hero scene has grown so much with the introduction of the league structure. Be it with new faces or veteran teams growing stronger, it's going to continue to grow as an esport, but it needs your help. So to those of you thinking about hanging it up and walking away, don't. Well, at least don't until you've given a lot of thought. There's going to be more chances. Free agency, open division next year. Hell, who knows? Maybe next year in HGC 2018, there's going to be paid spots for a 6th or 7th member on the team. We don't know. And finally, to the 4 teams that lost this weekend, Postgame, Imported Support, Team Good Guys, and even In Death, thank you. Thank you for putting your heart and soul into competing at the highest level this game has to offer. LiQuid and I both respect the hell out of you for it, and hopefully so do our fans. We look forward to catching you guys in action soon. And just remember, stay positive and don't die.
So thank you, Michael Ortega, for that background music. The SoundCloud link for that song is actually in the show notes. Look.
It was beautiful.
It was like so many people. How do I say this? So many people get caught up in the who won and who lost, but like everybody that played this weekend put on a great show. Like every game was close. Well, close may not be, like the scoreline doesn't show close, but every game was competitive. Every game looked like either way could have won, either way could have lost. I'm happy to see both you guys, like Leftovers and Heroes Hearth, making it in. I'm happy to see that. But that means someone had to lose, and that's always a bummer, right? Like you can't have a winner without a loser, and there was a lot on the line this weekend, and frankly, all 8 teams that played impressed me. So, speaking of that, though, in case you live under a rock and haven't figured this out yet, we did have some Crucible matches this weekend, and we had Diamond Skin keeping their place by defeating Postgame 4-2. we got Cho'Gall in the Polska games, which was awesome. And like everything in that set was kind of fun to watch.
I promise you, imported support would have given you Cho'Gall if LiQuiuD didn't ban it.
Oh, 100%, I know. And I feel like, in fact, I think I made a comment in our Discord. Like, LiQuiuD's got to feel weird having to ban Cho'Gall here. Like, they don't want to, but they know they have to. Because it was so interesting to see two almost completely different metas, like, clash at the Crucible. But, you know, Lauber, you guys played Polska Pamięta a number of times. How did you think they were going to take Diamond Skin? Did the games go how you thought they'd go? Like, what were you looking at there?
I thought the games were going to be close, actually. But they played like almost only Genji and Abattoir team comps.
Yep.
So Diamond Skin just banned Abattoir, so they never got to play Abattoir, which I think was their strongest pick, honestly. But I think the series was terrible. Like, not in viewing experience, but in gameplay. Like, both teams played much worse than I expected. Like, it was such a clown fiesta, especially Dragonshire. Like,
that Dragonshire game was a mess.
We sat in Discord or TeamSpeak, like in HGC TeamSpeak, and watched the matches, and we were all like, "What is happening this game? What are these teams doing?"
Right. And then, you know, obviously TGG lost to you guys 3-4. TGG already breaking up. So, Bahgz was impressed by the cohesiveness you guys had, which I would agree with. Go ahead, man. I know you have more there.
Sorry. I was slightly distracted by chat. Speaking of which, rapid fire breaking news. I think I'm gonna. If people ask questions in chat, we might be a little bit busy while we're going through the results here. I'll save them for like the discussion part at the end. I'll just copy paste the questions into a doc or into our doc at the end. Anyways, what caught me was like right here, like in game number 1, like a note right here, very impressive shot calling, instantaneous targeting. Like, you guys were very like, I guess in sync is the best way to say it. Like, you move as one, and it was really beautiful to watch. So, and I don't know if that has to do with like, so you guys played as an entire team in phase 1. So you've been together for almost 12 months. You only dropped one player and picked up one. So I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
Well, we've been together half a year, I think it is, right?
I think the open season was a little under. I think it was like 4 to 5 months.
Yeah, it was like, so it's closer to like
I think
8.
we started playing during like for a tournament in April this year, I think.
Okay.
So, but being together has definitely helped us a lot, because when you form a new team, it always take time to like know each other's playstyle, and everyone has different ideas how to play the game. So, like the first few weeks when you play with a new team, you just have to practice on synergy, and we already had that, so we had a huge advantage in the first Open Division, and that really helped us. But you need to be on the same level when you play, or you're not gonna win.
Absolutely, man. The other thing I want to ask is, so game 7 against the good guys.
Wait, no. We got to go back one. Hold on.
Sorry. Okay.
Because I got to talk about the cheese on Warhead.
I missed the bullet.
We can't skip the cheese on Warhead, man.
Well, we have been practicing that cheese. It's a really old cheese. Exactly that team comp. We actually played it versus a few HGC teams and Open Division teams. And surprisingly, we never lost with it. We always won with it. But we didn't play versus Abattoir Genji. And that really screwed over Falstad. Like, super hard. He couldn't do anything. And
it was like every 3 minutes was like, oh, Falstad's dead again.
Yeah. I think, though, we could have won it if I'm gonna call out Linked here. He didn't follow the call. Like, it took him a minute before we flew to the keep. Like, if we just flew to the keep...
Oh, yeah, that's right. He missed the boat, right? Like, he missed out on the...
I was Kidney, it was Falstad, but that was fine. He just didn't medevac to the keep soon enough. He questioned the call, and
Yeah.
you should never do that. It's like super bad. Even if you think the call is horrible, you should just follow the call. And like he questioned the call, and therefore we were super late getting the keep, because we would have gotten the keep way earlier, and then we
Yeah.
could have like backed off and actually survived and did damage to the boss way earlier.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And then you just go like split with Falstad top to get the fort,
Right.
and then you have like insta pressure on the core. As soon as you get like the next nuke spawns, you just get one nuke and then just insta fly to the core and just die. And if everyone dies, you just repeat next time you spawn and you win the game.
Right. Right. Okay.
Laggett style.
Well, they used to use that, right?
Feed-
Like there were
they
a couple
did.
times they used to use
Do
it.
it.
Yeah.
I guess the only other question I had, you were up 3-1 at the time when you pulled that out. Was that was it because you had the cushion and you figured like, hey, if it works, we're in HGC pretty easily, and if it doesn't work, we've still got a little cushion to work with?
Yeah, it was both of that. Also that we wanted first pick on the other maps, so we
Yeah.
were like, oh, we can take Warhead. If we lose, we still have first pick on Sky Temple and Cursed Hollow. So
So the same strategy that the Heroes Earth coach mentioned when you guys went to Warhead. Okay.
Yep. No,
Very
we
cool.
went to Warhead for almost the exact same reasons.
Yeah.
you just managed to win yours.
we did. Fun fact: we were actually gonna have a pseudo cheese, but then they picked like just because of the way the picks were, we had to go for a more standard cup.
Right.
We were gonna have a cheese there too.
That's awesome. Warhead's
Warhead is
open
like-
to cheese, right? It's so easy if you get just the right comp to cheese that map.
I mean, Warhead is like a cracker. Like you have
Right.
to take
You
some
just put
cheese
the
with
cheese
it.
on it and you're good to go.
Yeah. You can't have crackers without cheese, you know.
Right, right. All right, you had a game 7 question, Bahgz. I'm sorry.
All right. So I guess the question I had for Game 7 was, let me scroll back up here in the notes real quick. I'm dorking around with them. Anyways, Game 7, insane. So it was really close. Like several team fights, like could have went either way. And
Yeah.
what I wanted to ask was, Team Good Guys managed to lose all of them. So you guys
they
were
won. They won one.
They did win one.
They did win
Okay.
one of the team
Yeah.
fights. Yeah.
So, do you think if a couple of the other team fights went the other way, like we wouldn't be having this conversation right now? Is that fair to say? Yeah. And I guess, all right, that was
Kind
probably
of the same as
redundant.
saying,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
win Dragonshire, would you have won? No.
Right, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? If you
I
had
guess the
lost
other-
Dragonshire, right.
The last thing I wanted to mention is that core call.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was, I made a Twitch clip of it and like literally wrote it up, like labeled it as leftovers, big balls, core call. Like that was
Yeah.
insane. Like
Well,
literally, it came down to the boss being alive, killing the core because you guys were dead.
Right.
You know?
Something we're really good at, I think, it's making the core calls. Like
Yeah.
when we can, when we can't. Like we just thought that they were gonna they had like a huge power spike at 16, like so many talents and holy ground and so much boss control, and
Yeah.
so I just thought that we should end this now. This is our best chance to end during the whole on the rest of the game.
Before
Right.
it swings the other way.
And and just getting one keep down, and we're gonna get like a middle fort if we don't core or something like that, and it doesn't really matter because they have Abatur, so catapult pressure won't really be
Right.
that much of a
Right.
pressure. So I said, as soon as they got the boss and won the team fight, I just shouted, "Go core, go core!" And John Paul Deva, he was like, they're spawning soon. Should we really go call? And I'm like, yeah, shut up, just go call. And and they did it. And luckily, Lucio didn't kill the catapults.
Yeah.
Tried to dismount, but we only had Ariel,
Yep.
that was mounted, so it didn't really matter, and the mines were gonna stop her mount anyway, I think. So he kind of misplayed there, I think, and but they played really good at core. Like Linked, he went in, took the tank, then he jumped out on a creep, got the globe for Ariel's 7 talent, and then he stayed alive. So it was just super close, and we were just shouting all the time. And when the core got lower and lower, we stopped shouting and like everyone just come on, like whispering to themselves.
Right.
And when we thought the boss is gonna finish, when he just started hitting the core, we just come on, boss, do it. And then when the boss just got the core, he just went crazy and Jesus. I wish I could hear that again.
That's awesome, man. Like it's one of those moments in life that you're just never gonna forget. That's what it comes down to, especially when it's like Game 7, like down to the wire.
Right.
Yeah, like all the chips on the table, all in, and it worked out. So
you have aces. You're wishing for the best.
It was cool. It was a good ending. And then all right, so that was EU, right? And then NA. LagForce does what LagForce always does. Oh shit, we're in the Crucible. Quick, let's win. They won 4-2.
Well, I mean, to their credit, they started showing up before the Crucible. They honestly started showing up like as soon as their sponsor dropped. I get the distinct feeling those players feel like after going to the Crucible twice, they might have more trouble getting sponsors if they don't like show up seriously. So I get the feeling all those players are probably looking to be a bit more serious until they get settled again.
So you think we're gonna see like 2018? We're gonna see because they won't have a sponsor until they start playing in the regular weekly skills. So 2018 we'll see them like really show up and play hard for at least the first couple weeks.
I cannot speak for NA as a whole right now.
Right.
I know like I'll especially the players of LagF. I do not have very good I haven't talked to them very much, so I really can't speak for what's going through their head other than just kind of guesses at this point.
Right.
But my guesses would be basically one, some of those players are probably looking to get on other teams. And if they're not, they're probably going to show up hard early just to try and just to try and convince people that they're still good players again.
Okay.
I don't know. So, I mean, they've got some weird stuff going on there, but we'll see how that goes. Once again, I can't really speak for them
right. I mean, nobody can really speak for them, right? But except for themselves. Okay, and then we had EID playing Heroes Hearth eSports. You guys won 4-2, obviously. We're here, we're having this call. EID has disbanded, and apparently they're already looking around at different teams. I heard a rumor that Battery's already landed somewhere. We'll see how that goes. I don't know why I'm doing this, Bahgz. You have questions. Go, man. Bahgz is reading chat. You're up, buddy.
I'm back. I do have so after losing game 1, like EID looked like they came out very serious, playing really well. Your coach mentioned in his article, which I didn't catch, that they were hiding strats at the end of the season and just kind of laying low and preparing for this.
If you looked at their last month and a half of play, it was very clear that they knew they were going to be in the Crucible. So they were playing Cho'Gall, Orc comps, any number of things that just you looked at it and you said, this isn't what they actually play. Like, what are they actually playing? And as it turns out, not only were they playing different stuff, but they role swapped as well, which they've done several times in the past. So it wasn't a complete surprise, but still, we watching them were pretty sure they had something up their sleeves for Crucible.
So after game 1, going down early 1-0, was that because of maybe jitters, or would you say that you just you weren't sure what they were going to show you, and once you saw that, it was obviously you guys played a lot better?
A couple things. First one's probably jitters. I mean, me and BBJ, it's our first time playing this type of thing, and probably more on me as the tank. I was kind of a little bit nervous. That being said, we basically just played, they drafted a team that's meant to fight on shrines, and we did the one thing we shouldn't do, which is we fought them on shrines. And so we just kind of lost. That being said, we were pretty much using the first game as a scouting game anyways. Obviously we would have loved to have won that, but we just kind of came into the second game and we're like, all right, we just played like little girls. We need to step it up this game. We know we're better than these guys. Let's just play. And that's what happened this game too.
Okay.
The biggest thing I want to mention is, besides Homicidal's 5-man moshes, which we'll get to in a second, game 3, man. I wrote down that you had the comp that had the burning of execution. You had the Wombo combo comp. And then I've got the Twitch clip here, and I'm going to throw it in Twitch chat in a second. You guys absolutely nailed it with the Gus Divine Storm mosh pit massacre.
Here's here's the things about this. One, we played that comp against imported in playoffs, and we absolutely got bodied because we just did not use our abilities correctly.
Right.
So it wasn't like that. Like, we've been practicing that type of comp. And the other thing is, specifically against like medic and or double support comps like they're running, they like to kind of stay really grouped, so it just makes the comp ideal. But yeah, no, we had been practicing that, and we were honestly super sad that it didn't work out in playoffs. Like, our coach was legitimately shocked that we lost that game. He was like, "I thought we had the perfect draft." So we kind of came back and we're just like, yeah, we messed up.
But it's difficult to execute, right? I mean, it's not necessarily.
It is, but we like. I mean, especially after Fnatic made such a great showing of just double global and like the power of globals. Like, there was an entire meta where people were just hard practicing like global heroes and stuff like that. So all of us were pretty familiar with it. And BBJ was playing Uther that game, but he's used to playing Malfurion with Gus Twilight Dream being a big thing.
Yeah,
so he was pretty comfortable with that. Like. It was just something we had practiced, and yeah, we're not, like, obviously the fact that we messed it up once and then did it, like, almost flawlessly the next, like, time we showed it. Obviously, we've got some consistency issues to work through, but, yeah, no, the comp isn't necessarily as hard as to play as it is really to just call, because, like, there's one call where literally we just said, all right, they can have bot fort, we'll just take the two others. And for some reason, our team, whenever we have a global, we're just like, we could use this global to split push while they're and defend, or we could just fly in and fight them as 5 over and over and just never use our global advantage whatsoever. I don't know why that's our team's natural instinct. So we had a long time of fighting that, but I don't know, things just kind of went like perfect storm in that game. Like, that game honestly had us all just like, wow, that just happened.
It was beautiful, man. Like, when it happened, like Jake nailed it. It was the pain train.
It was awesome.
Always when you have like double global, you're so greedy to soak.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right.
I mean, well, actually, once again, we're the opposite. All of our teammates just want to fight. We just want to fight all the time. Bad. We're baddies.
Well, just keep picking the global so that they can't out soak you and you can keep fighting, and that doesn't really matter, right?
I mean, yeah, it's basically how it works. I mean.
And then the other thing I wanted to mention is literally the following game was Homicidal's always been a really mechanically strong player. That that's not new news, but this might have been his best series ever. Mm-hmm. And after the 5-man mosh on towers, was that did that get in anyone's head? Was that a concern? Because you guys didn't ban him. You didn't ban HGC in any of the later drafts, and they kept picking them, and he kept showing fairly well.
So it was brought up, after it happened, we were all just we went from game 3 being like, this is all going so perfectly, we're gonna just win every game from here, and then that just kind of was the giant buzzkill, the giant nope, just that's not happening. So we all kind of obviously were pretty bummed out, and we brought it up to ban the ETC, but when it came down to it, obviously ETC is super impactful hero, and Hami was super impactful, but we still would rather just ban things that counter our strategy rather than just something that we really should have just played around. Like, we shouldn't have gotten 5-man moshed. And
I hear you.
I mean,
that's more just our misplay than anything. So the way we kind of saw it is, if we ban a hero because we're scared of us misplaying, then we've already lost the draft a bit. So there's no point in approaching it like that. So.
No, absolutely, that makes sense, because that's how Roll20 tries to leverage their draft situation when someone has to.
You were literally on the same pixel almost.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
I looked back at that and just face palmed so hard.
It's brutal when it happens to you, but it was like.
You're so focused to just go ham, so.
Right.
I know.
And it was all of a sudden everybody was there, and it's like, oh my god, 5-man mosh pit.
I mean, it's good by Homicidal, he capitalized it. It's good.
I mean, I'm just laughing because the two highlights from that series were one of Homicidal getting that 5-man mosh pit, and the other from our Wombo combo where Homicidal misses a Garrosh Q on an ETC that's standing still while moshing.
Right.
So it's just the best of both sides here.
That is how it seemed to work out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Neither of our teams seem to be terribly consistent, which is probably an issue for us to work on.
Well, you have you have 3 months to work on it
Got
before you have
time
to
to work
worry,
on
right?
it, yeah.
Like scrim, man. All right, you
go
gonna,
ahead.
you got it. All right.
Oh no, I was just gonna that last bullet point, but go ahead.
All right, so before we leave the Crucible, there was a lot of Stukov in the double support this weekend. And we hadn't seen a lot of Stukov leading into that. So how do you guys feel about that and think? And I mean, his tank mains, he can be annoying.
You go for it. My team didn't play Stukov.
We played some Stukov, but we didn't really we saw him fitting their draft and Kronos playing the first game, so we just kind of wanted to take that away from them. So we just took it. Because it gave them too much disengage versus what we planned to draft. So
you kind of used it as a third ban in that respect.
yeah, kinda, and it fit the double support. It was good for us. Potty played it very good, and then it just become kind of the series meta that I'm gonna Bakery said that you create your own meta during a tournament.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say he's a highly contested hero or he's not that good actually, I think. But it just kind of become the meta, so the draft just started to focusing around him.
Right.
I just think that's why we saw him.
I understand.
Honestly, I mean, somewhat similar here. Obviously, Stukov I think showed a bit more in EU than in NA.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really think very much of him. The hero that got translated to me bigger from both of them was Gul'dan. To me, you guys were running a ton of E-build Gul'dan, right?
Yeah, only
saw-
Gul'dan.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, obviously, NA we still like our Q build for some reason. I don't know.
You're behind.
I don't know. I'll talk to Kronos about that. We'll see. But Stukov to us wasn't.
NA lul.
God. I thought I liked you. You're making this hard. Alright.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
But yeah, no, I mean, Stukov, we kind of, to me, the healer preferences, you saw a lot more probably Medic and Oriel in bans and picks and stuff like that. And a lot of comps were both for it and against it. For example, that double global Wombo you saw was literally meant to be an anti-medic comp. There were comps wrapped around them. Stukov was kind of when all of the top tier heroes were banned, he can sort of fill a niche type hero to us. And hearing Lauber sounds kind of like he's in that situation there. But to me, the bigger person that surprise showed up to me in Crucible was just Gul'dan. He was everywhere.
Oh, he got tons of action this week.
Diamond Skin picked him in every single game, I think.
Yeah, it's
That
he was.
surprised me.
Chris played him in 5 of the 6 games, and then in game 6, actually, Polska tried to steal him, but it didn't matter. They lost.
Right, right. It was he was played a lot in the.
So
I mean,
the
he
only
had some picks, but yeah.
I think the only series where he didn't see a lot of play, I'm looking at Master League right now, is imported support in Lagif. He only saw 1 game, and it was game 2 on Tomb for his wave clear, obviously.
Yeah, I can't speak as much for Lagaf, but for imported, they actually had a roster swap recently with the FZ onto the tank, and FZ was their Gul'dan player. So that team actually had trouble playing Gul'dan. I think literally one of our scrims, they had Aware, their support player, playing Gul'dan. It was a little, well, Aware is also their Cho'Gall player.
I mean, how is that supposed to work though?
Yak of all trades.
I mean,
well, they roll swabs over to the support in that case, right? I believe.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
I can't speak for them right now. Aware's a very unique individual. You'd have to play against him to realize it. But yeah, so I mean, imported couldn't really play him too well, and Lagif, I don't think they had any real reason to as much.
Yeah.
Lagif seemed to figure out what they wanted to draft pretty quickly. The first 2 games were pretty good showing of that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Cool. All right, just hit a couple of jump through some other topics real quick before we get into really putting the questions to you guys. But normally we do a preview segment. There is no HGC this weekend, so we're gonna do our preview next weekend. So stay tuned for that. We will have Ether on with us, the coach of Team Freedom, when we do that. Amateur scene, a couple of things going on right now. Heroes Hype Tempo Storm season 4 finale, season 3, I don't know, whichever one, I've lost track, going on right now over at Heroes Hype on Twitch. And then we also had yesterday the Heroes Hype Fnatic tournament go down. 36 teams from EU hit that up. Leftovers obviously wasn't allowed to play because they are now a pro team.
Feels bad, man.
I mean, it feels bad, but it also got to feel a little bit good knowing that the reason you're not there is because you're a pro team
true,
now, right?
True.
Like, there's something to be said for that.
The word we're looking for is bittersweet.
Right.
Mostly sweet.
Mostly sweet. Because, see, in 2018, they'll all be doing open division where you'll be playing HGC matches. So that's got to work out, right? But for the finals, actually, and I'm really curious what you think about these 4 teams, Lauber. Los Mariquitas versus Unstagad were the finals. Unstagad winning 2-1. And then Never Lucky beat Shiseisen 1-0 in the 3-4 position. Other than, obviously, Shiseisen, who's been around in open division for a time, and I feel like Never Lucky has as well.
Yes, they have.
I don't recognize the other 2 teams, and I didn't get time to look and see if it was just teams that...
the other 2 teams are like a mixed team.
Okay.
I think Unstagad has like Donatan and Tank for the Win.
That would make sense. Okay.
Yeah, so they're old HGC players.
Right.
I think they just played it to get like the gear.
Just to, yeah, right?
I don't think they're gonna make a team. I think Tank is done with TOTS now.
Oh, that's a bummer. I liked watching him play.
He's got to listen to my speech, man.
I'll send it to. So like not much to talk about the final because I think it's just mix. Never Lucky and Shiseisen though they played in open division. Never Lucky got 9th, I believe.
Yes.
So they just missed out. They were actually kind of unfortunate because they were facing Ikebabro, that was the 8th team in the last open division.
Right.
And they had beat them 2 times in a row. And they were up with 1 game the last tournament, and the winners would decide who becomes the 8 plates. But they managed to lose and didn't qualify for the playoffs. And Shiseisen I think it's a pretty good team.
Yep.
They did take 1 map off of you in the playoffs. The only team to do so.
Yeah, the only team.
The only team, yeah.
Bad. We wanted to have 11-0, but 11-1 is okay, I guess. But I know more about like the semi or the loser finals. I think Shiseisen is gonna be a really good team next open division if they just stick together.
Right. I would agree with that.
I do think their weakness is decision making and drafting, though. I would say. Sometimes they do questionable decision making that makes them lose the game.
Okay.
But if they just stick together and improve like we did last phase, they can maybe contest for the top spot.
That would be nice. I know they definitely want it.
And Never Lucky, everyone who plays there, I'm friends with them, so I hope they do well.
Cool.
Especially Henning, it's like a really good friend of mine, the support player there, and I know he wants this. They're actually talking. Oh, I'm not sure. I can talk. They're talking to some sponsors.
Nice.
Good.
So they might be able to get a sponsor for next open division.
Speaking of
great.
sponsors,
That's
what are you guys doing?
Just getting. I got a guy called Michael Figuero. He emailed me last night. He said he was from the Barcelona's football team and offered me $20 each month. So I'm thinking about taking that offer, playing for Barcelona. That'd be good.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see if I can find the email. Actually, it's pretty funny.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Give me 1 minute. And
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna
go
read it.
ahead. Go ahead, man. We're actually just jumping into asking you guys questions here anyway. So go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you go ahead and find that, and I'm sure Bahgz will just jump down to.
Well, I mean, I can cover a little bit on this as well, just as an open team that managed to get a sponsor.
Yep.
Like, half the reason we got a sponsor is because McIntyre and Krillin.
Yeah.
It's just we had 2 players that had the exposure and the already built up fan bases that we actually could have that. But honestly, the people looking to invest in open are either don't understand the situation or kind of sketchy.
Okay.
Frankly, like investing in an open team is not a way to get a quick buck. It is a long-term investment, and emphasis on the long. And it's actually
And it's
one of the
risky.
Yeah, it's not even that's just risky. It's that like even then like you're not getting anything while the team's in open. You're not really getting anything until you actually have a brand.
Right.
We kind of worked out with Heroes Hearth is since they have the website, we bring a ton of traffic to the website just by representing them and putting our builds and stuff on. So we kind of have a relationship where both sides are happy, but like a lot of times if you're investing in an open team, you're really not going to get anything.
Right.
And that's half the reason why, like, I mean, you get these cases of people that are not getting paid or just really kind of scummy relationships.
Yeah.
Well, so that's actually one of the questions that I put in here is what has it been like to work with Heroes Hearth? Like ignoring everything you just discussed, like has it made an impact? Is it not? Like what is it?
I mean, it certainly got us excited, and for certain players who are a little bit more reliant on just kind of money, like it definitely was a little bit of something to help. Like specifically, McIntyre actually wasn't going to be able to play this split just because the open division straight up wasn't going to be able to financially support him. He just needed to full-time stream or find something else to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what he did to make ends meet, but he managed to play with us, and we're super happy he did. But I mean, like, open in and of itself really doesn't pay any. Like,
Right.
You get $600 for a team for a first place finish, nothing for winning playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, there's no financial support there for players who want to give it full time, and everyone on our team was thankfully able to do it full time. But so many of these players, like, I know for a fact, most of the people on Imported, like Aware, I described him earlier, he has a job, he's working most of the time, and that really hurts their scrim schedule. Draded's a student. I was a student last open division. Like, so many of these people are students or have jobs and stuff like that, so it's, I don't know, just having the sponsor was just a really nice little guarantee and just a nice little way to help us get by in that case. So,
Cool.
But I mean, that's just as far as the actual money value goes. I mean, the guys themselves have been pretty awesome. They've been really open to hearing just kind of, they're really open to negotiation and trying to make things work for both sides, and they're very friendly guys. Like, they were describing all the stuff they've done. He's like, yeah, I have all these little businesses I've started. I own a comic book store in my hometown. It's like all this just random stuff. It's like, oh, this guy sounds like a pretty neat guy.
Right.
But, it's been a pleasure working with them, honestly, and it's, as I said, it's kind of been one of the few like open division sponsors I can think where actually both sides pretty much got something out of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I think so too.
did you find the email?
Yeah, I got the email here. If you want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm like really curious now.
It's not that long, but it's pretty funny.
Let's
Okay,
hear it.
here we go. Yo, man, I'm Ronaldinho Gachuino. I wanted to invest into your players some money, you know, man. Do you wanna get $20 per month for playing in Ronaldinho Gachuino Barcelona team? Please reply.
That totally sounds legit.
100%. That's
Do it.
legit, man.
I think we're gonna go with that.
You need to reply right now, live on the show. I'm in.
I already replied to him, but he said he could raise it from $20 to 20 euros.
That's now. Wait, now it's getting a little more
Fancy,
serious now. We're into euros.
Yeah.
All right, so honestly, we have like a ton of questions here, and they're like a lot of them are generic and some of them are more specific. But let's go with Lauber first. How did you get started in gaming?
In just gaming?
Yeah,
you know?
like professionally. Like,
In
what brought
general.
you to this point?
To professional, just started gaming. Because started gaming, I just played.
Well, I
Mario
imagine you were a kid and you
64.
wanted to play games, and that's what you did, right?
Yeah, I played on the old Nintendo 64. I played Mario Party 2.
Yeah.
And
I
Super
am
Smash
so
Melee.
old. Oh my god! All right.
Right. So I started my gaming there and then slowly switched to computer games and then MOBAs. But I started playing competitive, like League of Legends, when I
Okay.
was like 15. 16, something like that. And I played some amateur teams, won small money on it, but like I really didn't enjoy playing the game like for the last year I played it. I really just played it because I like to compete, but I didn't really like the game.
Right.
Yeah. So after that I switched to Heroes, and ever since I started playing Heroes, I wanted to play it competitive, I think.
Cool. All right, HB, you're up.
Honestly, almost exact same for start. N64,
Oh, yes.
all the classic Mario Kart Racing, Smash Bros, Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, like all those games. Just I used to play them a ton with my older brother. My older brother was one of those guys that just liked sports games, but so we don't talk about it. He's cool though. But we used to play a bunch of games like that. Moved on. I actually didn't move to PC gaming like until forever. Honestly, first PC game, my friend was like, "Hey, check out this game called League of Legends," and I moved there. I actually was playing a lot of like I don't know. I just laughed because all these other people came from like I know a lot of people that came from like WoW or RTSs and stuff like that, and I came from like playing like Street Fighter and stuff. But played leagues. I did not join any amateur teams like Lauber. I honestly didn't play that game too seriously for a while. I was just frankly proud to be like mid-diamond despite playing on like 120 ping.
Right.
So, but that's as far as I got with that. Went to school, swapped entirely over to online games, and then eventually just moved into HOTS when all my friends got tired of League, and realized I don't know. I was just like, this game seems to click a lot more. Like League, I feel like I'm just stuck in this lane, and if you pick a losing lane, you're just stuck in that for like 20 minutes, and it just kind of sucks. You just have to sit there and hope your jungler camps you. Meanwhile, League, like I was like an ADC in League. I was actually a ADC, and then this game I was just like, all right, I'm not gonna sit here like. When I quit playing League, it was like the meta where like Rengar and all the assassins were just one-shot all the ADCs. So I'm like, all right, I'm not just going to sit here and wait for my tank to do something and then go in. I'm going to play tank in this game. And then I found out, this was back when Johanna was super overpowered, that Johanna could out-damage all of her ranged carries by herself. So that was a fun meta.
I remember those days. Those were the good old days.
So, needless to say, I liked HOTS a lot better for that.
Okay, all right. So, how did both your families feel about this? And you're pros now. Lauber, we'll start with you.
They're really proud.
That's
whole
awesome.
family.
Okay.
Yeah. I even noticed, or I even gave them a shout out at my interview when we won. My dad is been watching all our games and trying to learn the game as much as possible. Which is hard for like a 50-year-old man.
God.
But they've been really supportive, and I'm super happy. Like I couldn't have asked for better parents.
Awesome.
My parents are also crazy good and supportive. That being said, they really just do not understand the game in the slightest. So like I have to show them things like my interview and stuff like that. Like they're super proud and they're super happy, but they were just so confused for the longest time.
Right. I mean, I could see that.
And especially when they're not like following the scene, I just have like this whole time just be like, all right, trust me. If we win this, I'm going to have an actual salary. I'm going to be able to just, and they're just having to trust me because they don't really know what's going on and all stuff like that. So.
Right.
I don't know. I'm once I got the interview and once all that stuff, I think it kind of clicked for my parents. Like, oh, this is super for real.
Like he's really gonna do this now.
Yeah. But yeah,
awesome.
no, they're super supportive of it, and now they're telling all their friends that one of their sons is a pro gamer, and trying to be all cool about that. But yeah, no, parents super supportive.
Cool. Awesome. All right, Lauber. Which team are you most looking forward to playing against?
I would say Fnatic.
Okay.
Playing against the best team in the world, you're gonna be able to learn so much because there's a difference between scrimming a team and playing a team in a tournament or a league. Because in scrims they might not care as much. They're not play 100% tryhard. They might like play 80%.
Right.
In tournament, you're just gonna be able to watch those games after and learn so much.
Okay. Ishbu, same question.
I've said this multiple times. I'm really good friends with Justin and Bahgz. I've played with them multiple times in the past, and I was super happy for them when they got into and started doing so well in HGC and all this stuff. That being said, I really do want to play them. Like, I guess we're both shooting for #1 teams in our regions here, weirdly. But Roll20 is not quite as dominant as Fnatic, honestly, but they're still pretty good. We've actually been scrimming them a lot, but like scrimming them as an open team, we were basically someone that used to just try things against.
Right.
Which was really funny when they'd try something against us, and then we'd see it like come out in an HGC game like later that week, and everyone would be like, "Where did this come from?" And we're just like, "Yep, we played against this. It sucked."
The Warhead comp.
The Warhead comp.
No,
Oh yeah, that's Zarya push. Oof.
Yeah, with Lilian.
Yeah, no, there's like you get some stuff like that, but I really do want to play those guys. I've still kept I still kept in contact with them. They're really nice guys, and I frankly I've gotten the first time I played with them, I actually got kicked from the team. Tiny bit of resentment there, tiny, but I still do want to play them. I want to like compete on the same stage. I want to beat them. I don't know if it's as much of a like I want to learn a ton because I think they're gonna take.
Right.
I just want to play them on the same even footing and win a game against them. Like that's just a goal for me.
So Schizophrenic, I'm gonna interrupt my flow a little bit. Schizophrenic asked us a question in chat, and I think this is a good time to ask it. In your post-game interview, you mentioned you used to play with Bahgz and Justin. Did you play a different role then, or did Justin play a different role?
First time I joined, this is actually why I originally played why I played tank and competitive. So I first played tank when I played HOTS, but I swapped to like a tank/flex role.
Okay.
I started playing competitive, and this was Murden's meta, and Justin hated playing Murden, so he just forced me to play it every game. Meanwhile, if you actually like look at Justin's profile and stuff, his most played for a while were actually Abathur and Sonya. So like he was an Abathur one trick throughout beta. But he played the flex role initially, and then later on when I played with him, we tried things out both with me as the tank and with him as the tank. I think things worked better with him as the tank, just because he was shot calling at the time, and tank was just more helpful for him. It was easier for him to say I'm going in than for him to tell me to go in, and then have that have the time in between there. But yeah, we technically both played the tank and both played the melee flex at some point in time.
Cool.
Circling back, you mentioned which teams you're most looking forward to play against, but what teams do you not want to play against? Like least interested in playing?
Expert.
Oh, that was quick.
They always do the most infuriating draft possible. And just so annoying to play against, and they played so well, and just you just get so mad because you don't know what to do.
And put the whole team on tilt right after game one.
Yeah. Okay, they played Lily, Samuru, Leoric in one game. Okay, that's fun.
This infuriates you when it works, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, how did this draft work? And we lost it? Jeez.
So on NA's side, we're not quite as stable as EU right now, so I don't really know what the teams are going to look like next split. But for a very similar reason, Gale Force. Gale Force is a team that I feel has had a lot of trouble playing standard compositions, at least with the current 5. So I find that more often than not, they tend to rely on these like split push zag cheese type comps. And they're just not fun to play. It's not fun to play against Vikings, Zagara, and all that stuff just over and over. Like even if you beat it, you just feel tired.
I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb though and say I bet Crowan would love to play against Gale Force. And probably McIntyre too.
Nah, I mean we've had some scrims against Gale Force, and like definitely I can tell you Crowan's like I don't know, he's still friends with the guys on there, But yeah, Krone would definitely like some redemption on a proper HGC match against Gale Force, I'm sure. Like probably more honestly to their managers and stuff.
Right. I don't think the beef would be anywhere with the players. Just like, yeah, you guys cut me, and guess what? And McIntyre is the same vein because Caffeine and K1 Pro there, and be like, you guys
hung him out to dry, man.
Right, you let us both go, and guess what? We just spanked you on the stage.
Mac had like so many different beefs. Like he had K1 and Calf and GFE. He has Nevent or Lagat, I guess.
Right.
Both for poaching iDream and for because he used to play with them before and got kicked.
Yep.
And then finally, even in death, has the spot that he still thinks he deserves. So we got that back. Like he was literally like after it just being like, why didn't they just give me the spot? I could have put together literally this roster and we could have played an HGC.
We could have just kept playing. We wouldn't have had to do all this open division stuff.
Yeah, like he was mad. Yeah?
That's funny.
All right. So neither of us like cheese.
The next question, I guess, we have for you guys is, who's your favorite hero to play? And if it's not a warrior, what's your favorite warrior?
Lauber, you want to go again, or?
I think my favorite hero to play is Tracer.
Oh,
interesting.
He's super fun to play against. And
play
last
against?
time, or play as. I mean, not play against. Jesus. Play as. Last time I played with versus Alex the Prodigy when he streamed, and I managed to kill him 10 times when he played Valla. And he got super tilted that game, so I just like to play it to piss people off, I guess.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, and favorite warrior, yeah. I think because I have a Smurf called ETC God, I think ETC is the appropriate hero.
There you go.
I used to be a one-trick pony ETC back in the days before I was famous.
When you when you land those 5-man moshes,
Yeah. It
feels good,
just go bananas. Before when we're able to do it easily.
Right.
No.
Yeah, just come to NA and we get hit by 5-man monsters all the time. Anyways, I guess on my end, actually favorite hero, almost as much for just personality and character as actual playstyle, is just Alarak.
Okay.
Like, I don't win with the hero when I play him, but he's just so much fun to land those giant combos and stuff, and just I don't know, so much he feels like you can do with him. At the same time, it just really sucks whenever you combo someone, do like 2/3 of their health, and then they just kind of walk away because you have nothing else to do. But I mean, he's just a fun hero, and I love the personality. I love the character. Like I can't just say anyone else wholeheartedly. Okay. As for warrior, it's a little bit okay. So I would say Johanna because I was he was a one-trick ETC. I was a one-trick Johanna when I first started playing competitive. Once again, different Johanna though. Right. Ever since they did the armor change, she has just been much ever since they changed 1, her condemn no longer pulling all the way to you, and 2, the armor change and all that stuff. Like she just hasn't felt as fun recently. I feel like this new change has actually made her a lot more fun, so I'm going to be actually one-tricking the heck out of her this week.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, since they buffed her, she's actually a lot more fun to play.
Right.
But yeah, it's got to be just Joe for me.
Okay. Awesome.
I read your guide, so.
Yeah. We've got that. All right. We've got that tank love. I love it.
I read that guide too. That was a good guide.
I just want to point something out. I think the burning rage, it's complete garbage, I think now.
I've had people tell me that. Like, I'm trying to figure out exactly what's the best at that tier. I just really, really don't want it to be Blessed Hammer just because of how random that is, but I think it's going to be Blessed Hammer.
Right.
I mean, I think the Q, I'm going to try the Q and see if it's good, because it's buffed.
Only reason I don't like the Q is just like, yeah, it really helps you with like those burst type scenarios, like especially if you actually take Falling Sword. Like Falling Sword WQ is like a ton of damage on a backline. Like, but I don't know. I was like, whenever I take it, it just the complete lack of PvE damage it gives is kind of meh.
True.
I mean, it's not like
And if you're looking at so Heroes Hearth has already updated their site, so Props to
Great
them.
website, by the way.
I use it all the time, honestly. Whenever I'm looking at builds and like I want to build an actual build for something or play with, like that's where I go to now. But I don't know. Blessed Hammer got a buff too, so it might end up being just a little bit. It might be the go-to on that tier.
Man, I don't wanna go Piano Johanna. It's gonna be starting to get so many.
I mean, literally, like with how fast that resets, you kind of. I don't know. I'm still deciding. The Burning Rage, like, so it turns into actual Burning Rage if you hit like two, like, if you hit three. If you hit three, it gets slightly more than Burning Rage, I think. Ideally, you're trying to hit two people with W's just so you can land 2-man queues. So I don't know. It's kind of in between. Once again, I'm still experimenting between that and hammers. I think it's going to be one of those two, but I'm still not sure.
Yeah.
I think all the 3 talents can be viable.
Oh,
we will see.
almost. It's close.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one for both of you because we got this earlier. We were on the Nexus Trolls, and Bacon said if you got to ask these two, I'm gonna ask. So right now on Gankbush Squad, which Bacon's on, BBJ is on, doing Gankbush Squad, and so he's gonna ask BBJ the same question. So you both get this question as well. If you were to start around Platinum, and you were gonna grind Hero League, which main tank hero would you use?
No tank hero. Garrosh
like,
maybe.
Yeah, like Garrosh would probably care unless the hero is like blatantly overpowered as a tank, or a hero like Garrosh where people just still have not figured out how to play against him.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it is to just say stand outside the Q range, but apparently that's very difficult for many players.
They can't visualize the pizza slice, so they always stand inside of
And
it.
your Rhaegar always has to bite him, like all the time.
Yeah. But right now, like I'd say it'd be either Garrosh or Johanna, just because I think actually New Joe personally can carry a bit. I think the health buff might have put her a little overpowered. Could be wrong about that. I don't know. It's not like I'm playing scrims right now, but
I mean, obviously, if you're gonna try and carry, you don't want to use a tank, but you always end up in that situation where there is no tank on the team, and so you have to fill that role, and that's what drove the question, right?
Yeah, I think I agree with Ishbo here. Like Garrosh and Johanna.
Okay.
Maybe it's C if like you're comfortable with him. Like he's a pretty hard player to play for like just average people, I think.
I mean, my problem with ETC is every time I play him in Hero League, I feel like I have to hit a 5-man mosh to win the game. Like,
right.
Just the fact that you can't like kill or threaten things by yourself sometimes turns into a problem. But I don't know, like I've done that type of climbing with any number of heroes. Right now it'd be Garrosh and Johanna, but I've done that type of stuff with like when a Nubarak was super overpowered, you could hard carry games with a Nubarak for the longest time.
Yeah, just with a well-placed cocoon, you could like carry.
Even before that, back when people were taking Locust, like when you went E-build, Locust build, you were out damaging your carries back then.
Oh yeah, that was fun. You just E and activate Locust and you don't care.
Especially because if you hit the 4-man E, you just insta reset it and just destroy a whole team all out. Those were the days.
Yes.
All right, and then this is just kind of an out there question because I was trolling. I think I was trolling Twitter, and I came across Ishbu, you and McIntyre ended up at the same Blink-182 concert.
Oh, yeah. So we both live in Atlanta, and I actually live like 15-20 minutes away from him.
Okay.
We had no idea about this until we joined a team together. So things that happen. I mean, I've had more random. I played like for 2 months with a guy on my Heroes of the Dorm team up at school, only to realize during one really unfortunate fire alarm in the middle of our games that he was actually the door right next to me.
What?
Yeah, that happened. Don't ask me how. I don't actually know how that happened. But yeah, so literally Music Midtown is a music festival here. It was happening, and McIntyre literally lives right next door to it.
Okay.
So he just invited me, and I stopped by just in time for Blink-182, which is both of our childhoods. So, needless to say.
How is that your childhood? You can't be that old that you're calling Blink-182 your childhood.
Well, it's my childhood as well.
No, that's legitimately like, I mean.
Yeah.
What were you like, 2? Come on.
What?
Yeah, all right, hold on. Now, wait, because I'm a Blink fan from way back. Way back.
All right.
What's your age again?
I'm 40, dude. I turned 40 in January. I'm not ashamed of that. I know I turned 40 in January. That's all right.
Well, I don't think you got it, LiQuid.
I did. No, I got it.
Okay.
Maybe this helps explain it to you. I wasn't the one normally listening to it. My older brother was, and I was just in the back of the car listening to him listen to it.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe that helps you a tiny bit. Like, he was the one who, like, I promise you, when I was like 8 or whatever, my mom would not have let me buy the CD Enema of the State just based on the album cover alone.
Right. That's why I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't work. Because like Cheshire Cat was one of the first CDs I bought, and that was released in '95. So I was like, wait a minute, this is not like what? Like
born in '95. So.
Right. That was where I was going with it, man. That's why I was so confused. All right, cool.
I got a follow up. What's your guys' favorite album? Mine's Dude Ranch.
Oh, all right. Are we just Blink?
Let's do it. Roundtable.
All right.
Go. Let's go. Blink.
Dude Ranch
Just
as
Blink.
well. Dude Ranch as well. 100%.
Just Blink?
Just Blink. All right.
If you got to look it up, it doesn't count.
I just need to think about the answer, okay?
That's fine. Oh man! All right, so HBU, you got to have one because you
I
like
mean,
the band.
it's what I just said, Enema of the State. Like,
All
I mean,
right.
as I said, that's just like my childhood listening to that in the car. Like, it was the only one we had back then.
All right.
I mean, obviously now I've listened to almost all of them, just via other methods. But
Right.
I mean, that's like you got the classics there. You've got all the small things, and what's my age again? So I mean, you can't go wrong with that album.
But
That album with the nurse.
yes,
Yeah,
that's the one
that's
with the nurse.
Yeah,
Yeah, Enema of the
that's-
State
that's
was
my
like the
favorite.
pinnacle. Was
Yeah, that's my
the
favorite.
peak.
So-
The self-titled album was really good.
The self-titled album was really good, but what my favorite part is if you're listening to the live album, one of the intros to the song, which came off Dude Ranch, was "This is for all our fans from before Enema of the State," and then they launched into Dude Ranch song. So, yeah, I've been listening to Blink for a long time.
I'm playing the guitar riff, the intro in my head right now.
Right? So this went a completely different direction than I thought it was gonna, but I'm happy it did because I'm always happy to hear there's other Blink fans out there.
Yeah, no, you should have been at that concert thing. It was lit, man. Legit, like the drummer Travis, he just killed that concert. I swear, that guy's amazing in person.
Oh, there,
Yeah, he is.
he like came back. I think it was on the Tonight Show. I'm like playing with like one arm was like amazing. Like
Yeah.
when he was injured.
Legitimately, like half of his playing, he just had like his eyes were basically closed. He was just so in the rhythm. He was banging the
Right.
heck out of things. I think he changed drumsticks like 6 times in the concert.
Well, so I've seen him live like 4 times. And the only other band I would put up there is like Goldfinger's awesome live as well. But I'm really bummed I didn't go to Blizzcon 2013 because they were there, and I'm still kicking myself to this day. Like that would have been awesome.
I just want to point out that the reason I didn't know the album is because Sweden invented Spotify. So,
So you just
we
listen to it all
listen
that way.
to everything on Spotify.
There you go. That's fair.
Throw
That's
that
fair.
little thing
It's,
out.
yeah, I just want to say that thing.
Spotify came from here,
I'm not
and that's
opposed to
just
it,
the way it is. All right, so we have one other thing that we wanted to talk to you guys about, and that was Open Division and Crucible, and kind of like your thoughts on each of those. What it's basically a 5-month grind, and then you get through the playoffs, and sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not successful, and then you keep grinding until you finally get in and then go into the Crucible. Bahgz has a number of questions around it, but I think since we only have like 15 minutes left, I just kind of would like to just hear both of your thoughts on just the whole journey through Open Division and through then finally through the Crucible into HGC. And we'll start with Lauber because he's been up the longest and probably getting a little delirious.
Sorry, man. Next.
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. So I guess Leftovers has gone through a lot in Open Division, and then going through Crucible and getting in. How was that journey? What did you like? What did you not like? And what would you say they should change? Any of the topics, take your pick.
I mean, I would like them to change the prize pool a bit more, maybe, but I'm not sure if that's possible. Like, it's not really high on Blizzard's priority list, and
Right.
I don't think it will be. It should be, but
I mean, at least you in EU, you have grubby streaming, so you get higher viewership than
yeah,
us.
yeah.
That's true.
We got a lot of viewers on EU. Also, rules. I think they should be more decisive on rules, and sometimes it feels like the admins have different rules and they don't even talk to each other. So I think they should fix that. Like that's just goes to gamers' problem, I think.
I think Ishbu could probably talk a lot about that if you wanted to.
If we only have 15 minutes, I'm not going to get on it. But just to say, Gosu Gamers admins have had a lot of problems, sometimes just straight up not showing up. We've had so many games where a caster or a player has had to do coin flips and stuff before the games. And it's just like, I mean, I'm not going to speak bad of all of them because some of them are more prompt than others.
Right.
But there have been so many just problematic situations with the Gosu Gamer admins to the point where, frankly, you'd be hard pressed to find any of the players that respect them at this point.
Okay.
We've talked about it before on the show. It's
Definitely.
been an issue. I guess was there anything to the Open Division setup or the Crucible that you liked or specifically didn't like? Besides the Gosu Gamer issues, like, is there something on Blizzard's end besides maybe picking a different company to host Open Division?
I'm glad that they finally made a double elimination. First split was terrible because it was single elimination. One best of three determined.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was on one of the losing ends of that.
Yeah, you were on the receiving end of that.
Maybe I'm a little biased.
Format. Yeah.
They need to have I just straight up think first place throughout the season should just get a spot in Crucible. It ticks me off so much that you have 7-8 tournaments, and then the only one that ends up mattering is playoffs.
Right.
Like, nothing before then matters for seeding, and even if you're seeding, you're still gonna have to play the second and third place teams just to get there anyways. So I don't know. That's just a personal thing. Once again, biased. I've been first place in Open Division twice now, so maybe a little biased. Let's see what else. There's just a whole list of ones.
I cannot think like you should have some advantage winning the winner brackets.
Winners grand finals should have an advantage. That's definitely something that's every double elimination tournament.
I think at least they're allowed to choose if they have map pick or draft, like at least. Like the first map, not even that happened. But
I also think Blizzard needs to put their foot down on what the rules are for when a team disbands an HGC and gets replaced. Yeah. Because that happened last time, and I'm hoping it doesn't happen this time. I don't know. I'm not gonna go into it, but there's some crazy stuff happening in NA right now.
Yes, there is.
It's brewing. We don't want to dive into that yet, but it's brewing.
I'm not gonna spoil that party for anyone. But basically, it's very unclear because last time when Even in Death got in, if you look at the rules, it says the first place team. Well, does the first place team mean LFM, who's first place in rankings, or does it mean the person who won finals, which is Even in Death? And moreover, Even in Death up to playoffs didn't win a single Open Division. They got, I think their highest placement was they got a single second placed finish, and all the rest they got third or fourth, or even lower in that case. So, this goes back to why is playoffs literally the only tournament that seems to matter? I don't know. It makes the whole experience a lot more stressful because you go through the whole season. It makes teams want to I can say this for some of the members of Imported Support. They legitimately, some of the players on the teams, Draded especially because he was with me on LFM, I can talk for him, was super demotivated after the first season and said, I'm just not even going to really put any effort in until the end of the season because nothing until then matters anyways, right?
Well, and that's exactly what happened in EU, right?
With our team. Yeah. We played all Open Division teams, and then TGG comes and play 2-1.
Exactly.
They win one, and they just, thanks, we're fine.
It must have felt sweet then. in the rematch there in the Crucible. That must have felt sweet.
It's like
did we both have salty runbacks? We knocked
Yeah.
out Beth and you
yeah,
guys.
we got 3-0'd by TGG in the last Open Vision playoffs.
Yep.
Hey, we got 2-1 by even in death.
Yes. No, you both kind of had the same, but the difference was I feel like even in death, if I'm remembering correctly, had been around for a little while in the Open Division, where TGG came in like one or
There's
two
a mix.
cups from the end, just qualified for playoffs, and then breezed through because it was like, oh, top 16, yeah, we got that.
Yep, that was literally like 20 points in North America last Open.
Right.
Yeah, that was terrible. Glad they changed that actually.
That change and the double elimination are good changes. Like the more people that go into HGC, like I know even in death actually lobbied a lot for the double elimination, and like for that I'm really actually happy with them. I actually like a lot of the guys on even in death, but I don't know. There just needs the changes are right now. Open is really like unless you're really self-motivated, there's literally nothing keeping you in open.
Right.
Like. So I mean, in some ways that's good. You're gonna have a lot of like good players, like obviously look at Cure, who's someone who's super self-motivated and got into HGC. But at the same time, you're killing a lot of the vibe from potential talent base. I don't really know. Like I don't know what can be changed. As was said, like I don't really know if they can raise the prize pool just based on viewership numbers alone.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the problem, right? How
not possible.
like. It's similar to the problem that you have with sponsors in Open Division. Like, there's no money to be made there. So how do you, even from Blizzard's point of view, there's no money to be made there. Why throw the money into it, right? Like the fact that it's there is what it is.
It's just some positive like extra thing to be happy about. I think.
Right.
Like the Open Division is more about qualifying for points than actually earning money.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, a lot of these are good, and as I said, I think they have already made steps to do improvements, which I'm really happy with. It just there are more things to be done, and I guess it'll take time for those to get done.
Yeah, no doubt. They listen to feedback, they make changes. They've been very, very good about that. And obviously, there's always going to be more things that you can do to make it a better experience. I think what they're trying to do with the Open Division, even though it's set up in a cup playoff format, they're trying to make it like a season. It's just the season is broken down into the 7 cups or whatever, and then it follow in like similar to traditional sports. Like in the NFL, you have a 16-week regular season schedule, and then it all comes down to a the playoffs where you find sometimes like I guess the Patriots aren't a good example, but like you find teams that are dominant during the regular season. All right, the Cowboys are a good example, right? They went 14-2 last year, and then only to like fall in the first or second round of the playoffs. Like sometimes it's just you got to show up when it matters, and it feels bad, man, when you play so well during the regular season, and the only reward you get is just good seeding going into the playoffs. So it's tough to find what the right answer is when we don't necessarily have an example or a model to pull from in traditional sports right now.
Well, cool. Thank you both for coming on the show. Like I appreciate it, especially Lauber. I mean, I know it's got to be getting close to like morning for you.
It's about 5 a.m. over there.
Yeah, it is.
it's about his regular bedtime.
Yeah, I went to bed at 5 yesterday, so.
Oh, all right. Well, then I still feel a little bad, but that's okay.
But I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go to sleep now because the local newspaper is coming at 10:30, I think. So
there you go.
I'm just gonna stay up for that.
It's that young gamer life.
Yeah.
Like I know it. Like when I was hardcore into WoW, I'd like the sun be coming up and I'd still be picking herbs to sell in the auction house. I'd be like, what's happening?
Right. Well, so thank you both for showing up and doing the show with us. Thank you all for listening to Trollin HGC, a weekly podcast about Heroes of the Storm eSports, member of the Trolls.gg podcast network. We stream live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TrollsGG, every week on Wednesdays following the Nexus Trolls at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Lauber, where can people find you, and what shout-outs do you want to give?
You can find me at Twitter, at Johan Lauber, and on my Twitch channel, LauberGG. Shout out to my team, Leftovers, for playing so good and getting into the HGC.
Awesome.
And I'm just gonna make a special shout out to Matjej. He did a fantastic interview with me today, and he was gonna listen to the podcast, he said, so I'm gonna give him a shout out.
Cool.
Awesome.
Ishbu, what about you? Where can people find you, and what shout-outs do you want to give?
Alright, so I unfortunately do not stream quite yet because, as you might have noticed, I am on a laptop right now, which is kind of crappy. But once I fix that, I will be streaming. Anyways, in the meantime, on Twitter, I am at Ishbu116. Those are O's, not zeros, just because of naming awkwardness. And I also make regular blogs onto Heroes Hearth under Ishbu with the zeros this time. Shoutouts, obviously, same to my team for qualifying. It's been quite a heck of a run, and that extends to all the people beyond just the 5 players on my team that have been helping us at this point. And I guess shout out to BBJ, who's over on whatever other stream doing another interview.
Gang Push Squad. They finished though, apparently.
They're actually called Podcast Pirates. That's what we're calling them now.
All right.
Podcast Pirates. All right.
Yeah. Those are mine. And obviously, shout out to you guys for having us. Thank you very much, guys.
No problem,
Yeah, it
man.
was awesome.
Thanks for joining us. Bahgz, where can people find you?
People can follow me on Twitter at Bahgz HGC. Actually changed my Twitter handle. It's a little easier and a little more simple to follow. There's no underscore. There's not a lot of extra letters. It's Bahgz HGC. I talk about heroes. That makes sense to me. If someone wants to petition to get me at Bahgz, that'd be great. Right now, it's taken. You can watch me stream on twitch.tv/Bahgz. It's kind of irregular. As we get closer to the off season, that's going to happen more often. I actually did a stream with Slug Hunter the other night. We played PUBG, and we got a chicken dinner. It was my first ever. It was awesome.
Chicken dinner.
You can find the Twitch clip on Twitter. As well, if you enjoyed tonight's show and are interested in Blizzard's other esports offerings, consider subscribing to the Weekly Blizz. It's a podcast I do with my buddy Guaz. We cover all of Blizzard's esports. It's found on iTunes and all podcast sources. We don't stream it live, though. It's audio only.
All right, and the best place to follow me is on Twitter at LiQuidGG, LiQiuDGG. I tweet whenever I'm about to do anything interesting, including a new idea that Daz, my co-host on the Nexus Trolls, and I are going to do. We'll be double dating with our wives in various games on Friday nights. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. If you like the show and you're looking for a way to support us, you can do so in a few ways. One of those ways is patreon.com/TrollsGG. Additionally, you can subscribe to our Twitch channel or cheer us with some bits at twitch.tv/TrollsGG. Subscribe to our shows on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you happen to find your podcasts online. If you're looking at a way to support us non-financially, you can leave reviews of the show on any of the previously mentioned platforms. You can visit our website at www.trolls.gg to watch this and past shows, along with past video streams, which can also be found on our YouTube channel. If you're interested in being a part of the Trolls GG family, we're looking for a writer and a social media manager. More information will be put on the webpage in the next few days, and I'll be sure to tweet that out. If you want to hang out with us,
you need one.
Right? I'm saying, man. If you want to hang out with us in the Trolls community in-game, just type /join Trolls GG in the Heroes of the Storm, or join our Discord, trolls.gg/Discord. We are testing a new channel in the Battle.net beta client, and we'll tweet out information when that's ready to go. For announcements about the show and Heroes of the Storm esports news, follow us on Twitter at Trollin HGC. Finally, if you need to get in touch with us, hit us up on Twitter. DMs are open, or email us, trollin@trolls.gg. Thank you both, Lauber and Ishbu, for joining us tonight, and all of the viewers that watch this live, have a wonderful night.
Goodbye.
Peace out.